haven't even started grading y'all's test yet, if you want me to be honest. Alright, y'all grab your bell ringer from last week. We're gonna finish it up.
Like they're not there's one that's like, that's how all of them look, but I hide it a little better. I need to read it. The middle is like the deepest part.
Here we go. Let's look at number 1. What does number 1 have in common? Huh? Before that, what number? 2. And you said x to what power? 3. And y to what power? Yeah. Alright, so what do I got left? 22 divided by 2 is 11. I had 5 x's. I took out 3, so that leaves me with 2 of them. I had 7 y's. I took out 4. That leaves me with 3 of them. Alright, what's negative 14 divided by 2? Negative 7. And I took all my x's out, so I don't have any x's left, but I got y's. Let's see. I had 8 of them, and I took out 4. Leaves me with 4 left. Alright, plus 18 divided by 2 is 9. Alright, I had 6 x's. I took out 3. X to the third is right. And you took out all your y's. There you go. Alright, number 2 is a little different, okay? You would do grouping, that is true, but look what happens when you group these together. Do these two have anything in common? No, but these two do, right? Okay, but I can rearrange these. I can switch these around so that my both parentheses will have something in common, okay? So which 2 do you think I should put together out of those 2? X squared and which one? Negative ax. Why is that? Because what do they have in common? An x. So if I were to put these 2 in common, do they have anything? They do have a b, so that's good. Alright, so let's see, we're going to do x squared. And that is a negative ax. I'm going to put negative ax. I'm just rewriting these, okay? That's all I'm doing. That's positive ab, so I'm going to put plus ab. And that's a negative bx, so minus bx. Are y'all okay? That's all I did was rewrite them. The reason I rewrote them was so that they would have something in common. So what do these 2 have in common now? An x. What's my let? Is that D? Alright, so that leaves me with x minus a. And so what do these 2 have in common? A b, and I'm going to take out a positive b, right? So plus b. So it leaves me with a minus x. They're not the same. They're really close to being the same, right? So let's do this. Let's rewrite them. You can. I'm just going to rewrite them so they can see why. Alright, so what kind of x is this? Negative x. I'm just rewriting these is all I'm doing. What kind of a is this? Positive or negative? So I'm going to do plus a. Now do you see how I can take this negative out to the front? So it'll be minus b. So it's going to change the signs of positive x and negative a. So if you were like Gracie and you noticed that beforehand, just take out that negative and you could have skipped a step. Alright, now these 2 are the same. So this is x minus a and x minus b. Whew. Okay. Now you're like, oh crap, that's a bunch of stuff. I don't know if I missed something. I don't know if it's right. What could you do on your bell ringer test to make sure that this is the right answer? Foil it, and when you foil it, you should get this back. It may not be in the same order, but you'll get the same thing back, okay? Y'all good? Alright, you remember this from last week? How I told you to be really careful with these problems? Because the factors of 6 are 1 and 6 and 2 and 3, right? Both of them will give me positive 5. Because 6 minus 1 is 5, and 2 plus 3 is 5. Why?
Because the -1 will make a -6.
There you go. I gotta have a multiply to be -6. 2 times 3 would be +6. So you have, what is that letter? C plus 6. Why did I do plus 6? Because this is a +6. And then C minus 1. Why did I do -1? Because that's a -1. Y'all okay? Alright. Let's see. Let's skip to number 5. Number 5 is pretty easy. Okay. So skip all the mumbo jumbo stuff. They give you, yeah, obviously we know this is an x squared graph, right? Because it's a parabola. We've been working on these. But then it says, when you graph y equals 0. Guys, how do you graph y equals 0? What axis do you go to? The where? What axis do you go to?
The y.
The y. At what number?
0.
0, which is right here, correct? Right in the middle, right at the origin. Now, is it an up and down line, or is it a straight across line when it's y equals? Straight across. There you go. If you were in my first ACT prep class, we did this problem in the first one. All right, so now it says, which of the following best describes the solutions? This is exactly what we are learning today, is the solutions, okay? So the solutions are where those two lines cross, and you're actually going to even use this y equals 0 today in class, okay? So what does it say? I have two distinct positives. Are both of these positive points? No, they're not. This is on the left-hand side of the origin. What's on the left-hand side of the origin? Negatives. On the right-hand side of the origin is positive. So I do not have two distinct positives. Do I have two distinct negatives? No. Do I have one positive and one negative? Yes. There you go. See how easy that was? But you let all these words, like normal, you let all these words bully you. Okay? They are just words. Okay, so we've got one more bell ringer tomorrow that we need to finish up from last week, and then I'll give you your new bell ringers on Wednesday. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Okay, all right. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we need to do number 4. I'm sorry. Let's see. What is the perimeter? What? You sure? Okay. Okay, it says it's an isosceles triangle, right? Okay, when you have an isosceles triangle, there's something special.
The legs are equal.
The legs are what?
Equal.
The legs are equal. So where does it say? The hypotenuse? So where is the hypotenuse at? Where do I put the 8?
Opposite of the right angle.
Of the right angle, right? Here we go. So I like to just draw this so I can, it points right to it. This is 8 square root of 2. I hate geometry. Hold on a minute, y'all. I gotta look this one up. Where's this problem at? So I despise it with a passion. So the two sides are the same. Does anybody remember that formula for geometry?
It's, I think it's just 8.
Is it just 8 or is it just the square root? I can't remember. You sure it's just 8?
Yeah.
Let's just try. I can never remember if it's just the 8 or just the square root.
And then with like a right triangle, it's like
Is that with the ones with the square roots in it? The square root. Okay. All right.
it's like
The 60.
I get them. I don't do them enough to remember them, so I forget. Okay. So let's see. So these are, since these are isosceles, that means these two are the same, right? So let's just call these both 8. And the perimeter means to do what? Add them all together. So let's just write this out so you can see it. So what are the only two that I can add? 8 and 8. Why can you only add those two? Because they're the same. You cannot say 24 because this has a square root attached to it. So you cannot add that 8. So it's 16 plus 8 square root of 2, which is E. Y'all okay? Oh, that one was pretty easy. I don't know. I shouldn't have skipped it. Oh well. I figured it would be a little easier. Y'all okay? Anybody lost? Alrighty. So I guess 5 was more difficult, wasn't it? I normally put the difficult one as number 4, but oh well. So you need your notes because I did win my battle with the copy machine today. So what we need to do right now is make sure that you have your note sections out ready to go. Make sure that you've got your calculator, graphing calculator, because you've got to have it today, okay? Got to have it. So grab that while I'm passing out notes. We have got to hustle. Here we go. So look at number 3. You ready? What was the very first question from yesterday that it told us to do in part A?
Find the y.
Find the y-intercept, right? And when you find the y-intercept, what number are you really plugging in for x? 0. Okay, so y-intercept is 2 times 0 squared minus 8 times 0. You better stay with me because we're flying.
You just told us that we could do the back number.
Exactly, that's what I was getting to. So now when you plug in 0, you get 0 minus 0 plus 5. And like Matthew said, if you are very intuitive, then you can just see that it is just your constant every single time, okay? Y'all good? All right. What else did it tell us to do besides the y-intercept? We're still on part A.
Negative 2 times ba. Or no,
What is that called?
Negative b over 2.
What is that called? Axis of symmetry. Remember we abbreviated AOS? Oh, Lord, not AO8. Okay, all right. So let's see. Like Scotty said, that is x equals negative b over 2a, right? Is this bringing back some memories? All right, so that negative is in the formula. It stays there. Then what's your b? Your b is your second term or your linear term. What term is that? Careful. Negative 8. And then over 2 times a. 2 times a is your quadratic term. That's your first term. 2. So that's positive 8 over positive 4, which is, oh, Lord Jesus. Yes, I was looking at the 4 and wrote the 2. I was looking at the 4 and wrote the, oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, Jesus. Okay, so that is x is 2, right? That's x is 2. So I believe the last one said find the vertex. It's got to be. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so your vertex is a point. It's a point where your two sides come together, right? What do I mean two sides? Your axis of symmetry cuts your graph in half, right? So your x value is that 2 that you just found. So it's 2 right here. Then how do I find this y value? Plug it in up here. So 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 5. Oh my gosh, your handy dandy calculator will do all of that for you, okay? What'd you get? 5? That shouldn't be 5. Negative 3. You're thinking about when you're plugging in 0.
I know that then.
Did you plug in 2 instead of 0?
Huh?
If you plugged in 2 instead of 0, yeah. No, you plug in 2, not 0.
Yeah, you said 2 instead of 0.
Yeah.
Or
If
no,
you
you
plug,
said 0 instead of 2.
oh, I said 2 instead. I
Oh,
promise.
wow.
2 instead of 0.
Look, listen, if you're plugging...
Stop. If you plug in 2, because that was your x value, right? You get negative 3. Y'all okay? You do not need to plug in 0. If you plugged in 0, that's how you got 5. You okay, Matthew? You should.
Okay, so 2 times 2...
No. 2 squared is 4.
That's fine.
Then times 2 is 8. All right, what did part B tell me to do? Make a table, right? Oh, but we have a graphing calculator, and it'll do it for us. So we go to y equals. And if there's anything there, clear it out. Don't be lazy. So let's type this in. You ready? Ooh, Lord, hold on. Move this so it's not a glare. So it'll be 2x. Where is the x? It is directly to the right of the green button, right? The more you do this, the faster you'll be able to get. So x squared. Squared is right below that inverse. And then subtract 8x. And then plus 5. Do not hit graph, because we are wanting the table. The table is the blue button or the yellow button, depending on what kind of calculator you have. So you hit the second button, then the graph button. Y'all okay? Alright, I want to find my vertex first, because everything stems from your vertex. So scroll up or down and find 2, negative 3. Did y'all find it? Okay. So now we're going to graph those points that are right around there. So grab your graph paper. You should have it from Friday. Let me grab mine real quick. Huh? No, this one's small. Look at those numbers. It only goes to 5. Alright, let's see. Let's make our graph. This one's not very big. Probably made mine a little too big, but it'd be alright. Alright, so the very first one we're going to graph is that vertex. So what is that vertex? 2, negative 3. So right 2, down 3. That's your vertex. Y'all okay? Alright, then I'm going to graph those 2 points that are directly above and below that vertex. So what are those 2 points directly above and below?
3, -1.
3, -1, and 1, -1. There you go. Y'all both said it kind of at the same time. It's alright. Alright, what?
So,
Started with your vertex. They're right here above and below the vertex. And then, let's see, this point is 1, -1, right? So what's the point directly above that? That's 0, 5. Oh my gosh, that also happens to be what?
huh?
What is 0, -5? 0, 5. That's your y-intercept, right? Didn't we just find that earlier? Oh my gosh, I'm checking my work. Lord have mercy, look at there. Alright, so this point was 3, -1. So what's that point right after 3, -1? 4, 5. See how they're lining up? Remember your y values always line up? Do I have to stop there? No. But look at my next point. My next point, oh Lord Jesus. My next point is 5, 15, right? You could graph it if you want to, but it's going to be quite large. So let's just leave it like this. Oh, I skipped it. Stinking calculator. Oh well. My graph doesn't look very pretty. Sorry about that, guys. I messed up my graph. Oh well.
You're okay, man.
Y'all okay? Alright, what else did it tell us to do on the front page? Domain and range? Oh my gosh, domain is easy, and you better not leave domain blank on your test. All real numbers, or you could put negative infinity to positive infinity. Every single time you have a parabola, your domain will never, ever, ever change. It will always be all real numbers. Because from this vertex, slowly it is going outward to the left and the right. Alright, what about the range? Starting from where?
The bottom.
The bottom. What number is that?
-3.
-3. Then we're going to make our way up the ladder and go where? Positive infinity. There you go. And parentheses always go around infinities. Y'all okay? Alright, now let's... We did. I thought we forget something. Maximum, minimum? So go from your vertex. Your vertex is a minimum, and then it should have told you to find that value, right? Oh, wait, but I don't have to find that value because I've already done it. That value is my vertex.
And your axis.
And my axis of symmetry x value, right? So what is that point? 2, -3. There you go. All right, now the next 2 problems. Did we cover everything it asked us to cover? Is that right? Did I skip anything? Got it? Okay. All right. Let's look at 4 and 5. 4 and 5 do not ask you to graph it. It says determine if it has a max or min, right? So you should remember, and we're going to sketch a little pretty picture. It's going to be real, real easy. So what kind of picture is number 4 going to look like? A regular parabola or an upside down parabola?
Upside down.
Why?
It has a negative
Because it has a negative where?
at the front.
In the front. If you've got a negative in the front, then sketch you a little picture, okay? Most of you are visual. Most of you are visual, as I have learned. So, if you're visual, draw yourself a little sketch right there. You see how tiny mine is? It's not very big. It's not very beautiful either, okay? Okay, so what is that? I made that word up. Is it a maximum or a minimum value? That's a maximum value. Okay, and it says find that value, right? This is not as easy because I haven't done the work yet. So, but what is that value always?
The last one.
Your vertex, right? How do I find the x value of my vertex? X equals negative b over 2a. There you go. So it's negative... Oh, what's my b?
12.
No, it's not.
-12.
No, it's not. Why is it 0? Because what is that negative 12?
That's a C.
That's your C. That's your constant, right? Your B is your x term, your linear term. You do not have an x term. That's why it's 0. Are y'all okay with that? This is what you have. You have negative x squared. You don't have an x term, so you have a 0 term, right? Then negative 12 is your constant. Does that look better to y'all? That's your B right there in the middle, 0.
Okay, sorry.
You don't have a linear term. You don't have an x term. X is where your B is.
Why do you make it negative 0?
Well, that's the formula. We're getting there. You okay, Matthew?
Oh, wait.
All right, on the bottom you have 2 times A. You don't even have to do this, really, because what is 0 over anything? It's just 0. But let's just make sure we're all good. What's this A value right here? Negative 1. Okay, that's just 0.
That 0 is way fun.
All right, so my x value for my vertex is 0. How do I find that y value? Plug it in. Oh my gosh, but if I plug in 0, what is the only thing I'm going to have left? Negative 12. If you need me to prove that to you, negative 0 squared minus 12 is 0 minus 12, which is negative 12. Y'all okay? All right, what else did it say? Then state the domain and range. Oh my gosh, you should never, ever, ever leave domain blank on a parabola. What is it? All real numbers, or you can put negative infinity, positive infinity. I'm just lazy and want to put one thing.
I was about to say negative all real numbers.
Well, yeah, that's not really true, but you can't have negative all real numbers.
Points
But
for trying.
yeah, points for trying. No, they're positive and negative. Because you're saying all real numbers. Now, you could say all the real numbers that are negative, but you can't say negative all real numbers. There's a difference. All right, what about the range? Starting from where, people? The bottom. Now, look at this pretty little sketch we did. Where's the bottom at? Negative infinity. Going to the bottom. It's negative. Then I'm going to work my way all the way up to the top of the ladder, which is right here. I can't go. I'm the CEO of my company right here at the very, very top, right? What is that right there? How'd you get that? That is my, what is that called? Which is, that's your vertex, right? And you need the y value of your vertex, which is negative 12. Y'all okay? Okay. Let's do number 5. Is that all we did? Yeah, that's it. What about number 5? What's it say to do number 5?
So if it's the parabola is going down at x value?
Yeah, because your vertex is the very, very top of the picture. All right, what about number 4? What kind of parabola does that look like? Minimum? Why is that? Because it's not a negative sign. It's a normal looking graph, right? Okay. All right, so right here you have a minimum value. And I need to find that value. Hi, dear. Thank you. So, what is that value? How do I find that? X equals is what? There you go. So negative what? Negative 24. The negative is in the formula. Then you put your B. All right. Then 2 times A is 2 times 4. So that's positive 24 over 8, which is 3. So 3 is your X value. How did I know it was my X value? Oh, because it's X equals and my stinking formula, right? Okay. Now, how do I find this Y value?
It's the last number.
No, it's not. You do what, D? Plug it in. 4 times 3 squared minus 24 times 3. It is only your last number when you plug in 0. So let's see. 4 parentheses 3 squared minus 24 times 3 plus 11. I got negative 25. Do y'all get that? Okay. There you go. All right, what else does it say to do? Domain and range. Don't you ever, ever, ever leave domain blank on a parabola. What is it? All real numbers. Or negative infinity, positive infinity. Either one is fine. All right, your range is bottom to top. Your bottom in this case is your vertex, right? What is that y value of your vertex? Negative 25, and then where does it go to? There you go. Y'all okay? All right. So this is the part that we need to get to today. We got to hustle. So what's it say to do? What? The bottom of the page? What's it say to do? Before that? Using the what? So what should you have out ready to go? Okay, we cannot take this as slow as we need to because we got to hustle. So I need you to stay with me and not be on your phones, not lollygagging, not daydreaming, not thinking about what you're going to eat tonight, not thinking about what you're going to wear Friday, okay? Stay with me. Y'all got it? Okay, identify the vertex first. Here we go. So y'all keep this page handy so we can keep looking at our directions, but let's go to the next page. All right. Keep page 2 handy so we can look at the directions. All right, the very first thing it said to do was identify the vertex, right? All right, so grab your graphing calculator. We're going to go to y equals. We're going to clear it out because we're not going to be lazy. Now, the very first thing is a negative, correct? If it's in the very, 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 very front, you better put a negative, which is down there by that decimal and down there by that 0. Then hit x squared. This is not in the front, so this is subtract 3x. And then plus 4. Y'all okay? All right, hit graph. You should already know that's going to be an upside down parabola, right? And look at there. There it is. Y'all okay? Now, let me get my steps right before we do this all together. So your vertex is this point way up here, right? Okay, so let's about estimate where that x value is. Where do you think that is?
6.
X value?
X.
-2? Okay. Let's see. How can we check to make sure that it is at -2? Second table. And, ooh, there's 2 of them. So that means that that's not my vertex, right? That means my vertex is between those 2 numbers, right?
There's 2 6s.
There. See how these 2 6s are right here? That means that my vertex is between these 2. It's between -2 and -1. All right, got it? All right, so then we can hold on. All right, so go back to your graph real quick. So is that a maximum value or a minimum value? That's a maximum value, right? So you can go tell your calculator, hey, I need to know where that maximum value is, okay? So this is very different. You have never, ever, ever learned this. If you had me for Algebra 1, we never did this, so this is new. You ready? Okay, so we're going to go to, hold on. Let it get its life together. Okay. All right. Do you see this trace button right here? You see right above it where it says calculate? We can tell our calculator, hey, calculate my maximum value, okay? So it's in blue or in yellow. So you hit the second button, then you hit the trace button or the calculate button. Don't go ahead of me. Don't get behind me. My fingers are still right there. Y'all good? Okay. Now, what do you see? Number 4 is a maximum. You can either scroll down to number 4, or you can simply hit 4 on your calculator. Okay? Does yours pop up like mine? Okay. Now, it's very, very touchy. If yours did not pop up like mine, let me know. Okay.
Does it look very similar? Yes, it's close enough.
Alright, now, you can move, let me zoom in a little bit so y'all can see what I'm doing, okay? Hold on. You can move that little flashing cursor just like you can on a computer screen, right? So, do you see the little flashing cursor right there? Okay, just like in your computer screen, you can move it around. Now, you're going to move it around by using the right and left arrows. Okay, do you see these arrows? Now, you need to be, I know, hold on. I got to hold it up a little bit so it won't be so blurry. You need to move it very close. So, look, what I mean is, you can't have that cursor way down here. Do you see where it is down here? It has to be really darn close to the top of that curve. Don't put it at the top, just put it close to the top. Does that make sense to everybody? When you get it close to the top, hit enter. Alright, then do you see how it popped up this little line? Then I need to go over to the other side. So it's okay, you should have gotten something right there. It's alright, just do this with me. Then go on the other side. See how my cursor's on the other side of that curve? On the other side of that point? Alright, hit enter again. Do you see how it popped up guess right there? It's wanting you to guess what's in the middle of those two lines. So hit enter one more time. Now, don't freak out if you got an error. Let me know. Yeah, I got an error. Alright, let's do it again. Go to calculate.
Miss Morgan.
No, it's not. Quit complaining.
Just
Yes, dear.
a minute. When you
Quickly.
when you go to calculate maximum, it asks for the left.
I know, that's what we did wrong.
Okay.
That's what we're doing again. Alright, so go to your maximum. Right there. Hit enter. And Scotty is right. That's probably why it gave us the wrong thing. You see how it says left bound first? Okay, let's scroll to the left or to the right, whatever you need to do to get it pretty darn close, okay? Now look, if you don't get it close enough, then it's going to give you an error again, okay? So it can't be way down here and expect you to get the right answer, okay? Hit the right or left arrow button until you get it pretty close to that. Now, what do we have tomorrow morning if you're completely freaking out and you need one-on-one attention? 0 period. I better see you tomorrow morning if you need one-on-one attention, okay? So hit enter. Now you see how it says the right bound? Quit complaining. Alright, and hit enter. And it says guess, so we're going to hit enter one more time. And it gave us a maximum value, right? Okay, now, give me 2 seconds. Let me write this down, okay? So x is... Quit your huffing and puffing. Negative 1.499. Why did I do 3 values? Because the the AP exam, any AP exam you take, math or science, always wants 3 decimals if you can't give a fraction, okay? Notice the words can't give a fraction. Not that you don't want to give it, you can't give it, okay? And what was my y value? 6.25?
If I calculate, does this mine give me exactly what?
That's fine. Just do that. That's fine.
Not giving me an error no matter how.
I'm going to come to you. All right. What did we have? A maximum value or a minimum value?
Maximum.
We had a maximum. And what is our domain? All real numbers. What's our range? Starting from where?
Bottom.
The bottom. Where are we coming from?
Negative.
And we're going to
6.5.
6.25. Y'all okay? Wait, oh, yes, sorry. Thank you. Now, we're going to come back to this, okay? We're going to do one calculator function at a time. Got it? We're going to learn one thing at a time. So, if you want to, put a star by this because we got to come back to it, okay? We're going to do all of that for every single problem. Does that sound good to y'all? Instead of doing everything at once? Okay. All right, let's go to number 2. Now, number 2 is a fraction. So, if you got an error, let's try this one more time. And then we'll go from there, okay? If you need one-on-one attention, just get your tail in here in the morning and we will do one-on-one attention, okay? All right, now there's a specific way that you have to put these fractions in. So go to y equals, clear it out. All right, to put a fraction in, this is 2 divided by 3, right? So you just put a parentheses, 2 divided by 3, close parentheses, then x squared, minus, oh my gosh, that's a fraction. So what do? Parentheses, 7 divided by 3, close parentheses. Yes, you have to close it before you put your x. If not, you're telling that that x is with that 3, not with the whole fraction. Then x, and then plus 9. Y'all okay? Anybody have any issues so far? All right, hit graph. Mine's slow. Sorry. Y'all okay? Okay, you're not seeing the whole picture, right? But that's not a big deal. Did you still get that small U shape like I did? All right, did anybody have any issues so far? Anybody? All right, you should be able to see if that's a maximum value or a minimum value. What is that? That's a minimum, so we can go ahead and circle this if you want to. And let's go to second calculate, or second trace, whatever you want to say. Y'all okay? Stop me if you're having issues right now. Like, stop me right now. Don't wait till I get to the done. All right, this time we have a minimum value, right? So I'm not going to hit 4, I'm going to hit 3. Or you can scroll down to 3 and hit enter. Or if you just hit 3, it'll do it for you. All right, so Scotty, let's make sure we read this time, right? So, because I can't read apparently. So we're going to do our left bound first. So you need to move your cursor pretty close to your curve, right?
How do you know where to?
This vertex right here is always your curve, the very bottom.
How do you know how close to get it?
Just get it close. Just don't have it like ridiculously far away. It doesn't have to be exact, but just get it pretty close.
No, last time it wasn't working.
Okay. Let's see what you did. Doing it?
Every time. On the test. That's it, about right
You're just too close.
On the test, we kind of wrong if we don't all get the same number.
They should be really close. You shouldn't get 7 where I got 1. But if you got 6.9 and I got 7, then that's not a big deal. All right, so hit enter, and then go to the other side. Y'all okay? Hit enter again, and you see where it says guess? So when it says guess, you hit enter one more time. Give it a minute, let it think. Oh my gosh, what did it give you? There you go. You gotta have a vertex right first. So that vertex point is 1.75 and 6.958. If your calculator gives you exactly 6.9, then just leave it 6.9, okay? I'm not going to take off. I'm not being that particular. But if you got something like 9 where we got 6, that is a big deal. I will take off points for that. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. So let's see. What is that minimum value? It is at 1.75 and 6.958. All right, what's your domain? All real numbers or negative infinity, positive infinity. What's your range starting from where? The bottom, which is 6.958. Y'all okay? And goes to infinity. What time do we get out of here? 56? 58? Okay, we got time to do the last one, right? Okay. All right, here we go. Last one. Let's do this quick. Y'all try number 3. I'm gonna do it real quick and put the answer up here, and you see if you get the same thing. So if you're having issues, now is the time to tell me.
You don't want to change them. Just go to the very bottom and just scroll up. Right there, you see it? Yes. You can't see bottom, it's fine. Hit it right there. I didn't see it. Yeah. Just go right here. So that's good right there. Not too far up. Not too far up. Right there. That's good. Oh, you gotta go on the left. Yeah. There you go. Two. There you go. Right there. Hit enter. Don't change your window, guys. You don't have to change it. Those of you that know how to do it.
Okay, so did y'all get a picture like this?
Yes.
And you can't see the bottom? Okay, that's not a big deal. Y'all are freaking out if you don't get the exact same thing as what we just did. Use your brains, okay? Go to calculate. Is it a minimum or a maximum? It's a minimum, so I'm going to hit 3. Left bound, just scroll until you can see your cursor. Right there, that's good. Hit enter. Just as long, what I mean by too far away is don't go way up here, okay? That's what I mean. This is close enough. Enter. Go to the right side. Let's see. Ooh, I still can't see it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Keep going. There it is. Hit enter. Guess. Y'all get that? Y'all okay? Am I lost? Not too bad, right?
Well, I think it's like a couple decimal places off. It's okay.
That's fine. But it shouldn't be a couple of numbers off. It shouldn't be.
I got like 13.1.
Yes, as long as you didn't get like -12 or -11 or -10, as long as the decimals are the only thing that's off, then that's perfectly okay. All right, so minimum or maximum? Minimum. Domain is all real numbers. Range is, yep, that should be a bracket though. Sorry. To infinity. Y'all okay? All right, let's see if we can do this really, really quickly. Let's go back to number 1. We're just going to do the first part of this, okay? Actually, let's start with number 3 since we're there. All right, x-intercepts, right? We're going to go back to calculate again. So second calculate. And you can find your x-intercepts. Guys, what does this word mean again? What number? 0. Oh my gosh, what does number 2 say? 0. Now, there are 2 zeros, and I'm going to explain to you this more on tomorrow, okay? But right now, just go to 0. Now, do you see your x-intercepts right here? You see those?
Yeah.
Okay, so left bound. Here we go. So, let's go just a little bit above. See, that's x-intercept? We're going just a little bit above that x-intercept. Hit enter. Then we're going to go just below that x-intercept. Hit enter. Yes.
So does mine.
It's not a big deal. Just as long as, look, this a little bit is not a big deal, but it shouldn't be all the way across the graph, is what I mean. All right, so it looked like your x-intercept was at -1, right? But was it really at -1? No, it was at a little over -1. So let's see. -1.098 and 0. And there's another one. There's 2 of them, right? We're number 3. We're number 3. But then I said, let's do number 3. Bye, guys. We'll finish the rest of this tomorrow, okay? We did number 3 because we were already on that one. Be here tomorrow. Homework. Homework, homework, homework will be posted on Google Classroom. So make sure you look at it. Homework will be posted on Google Classroom. So look at it. Bye, guys. Yes.
Do I